What are you expecting, Kobe? What should we be looking out for?
Honestly, Cloud9 have really prided themselves on their versatility. Talking to the players, talking to the staff afterwards, they love the flexibility that all these players have, and they've invested really deeply in having multiple strategies. So I'm very curious to see how the course of their pick ban changes over a full best of 5 here on the main stage. And one of the things I'm actually most worried about for Cloud9 is that BLG got to play in the play-ins, and I consider, as long as you get through play-ins, that is often a big benefit, getting the stage time, getting the reps up here already. So very excited to see Cloud9 finally take to the stage.
The practice, the experience in the meta, of course, very important. We'll have to see how C9 come out onto the stage. Mad Lions came out swinging yesterday in game 1 for a brief moment. Cloud9, can they hit the ground with the same momentum? Do they have some spicy strategies cooked up? We'll have to see for now. Annie, Nautilus, Ari banned away. Just conventional power picks, opposite side, the Nidalee as well as the Cassante.
Vi and Aphelios are the two champions that spring to mind for me. When we think of big power picks, what will C9's priority be? Do they want to give Elk that champion? Well, the Xayah first pick for Cloud9 heavily suggests that they are thinking about the Rakan. This does leave both the Vi and the Aphelios up for BLG though.
And interesting that they opted to ban the Ari half of the Vi-Ari combo, which I think has been the most stock standard, safe, powerful mid-jungle duo. Not worried about giving that up since they have the Xayah now, that positive interaction. BLG, do they even take it seeing the Xayah on the opposite side? Because you're kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation when it comes to that Vi pick.
Yeah, slamming down the Xayah, the best kind of counter-initiation AD carry there is, if there's going to be dive on the side of BLG. But they leave up something that has been continuously banned against BLG. Since the first game of MSI, Elk got his hands on that Lucian, and they already grabbed the Nami, so you have to expect the Lucian will follow as their third pick here. They want to grab that vibe regardless, get the engage for themselves.
With Maokai taken off the board, I wonder what direction they'll go for the jungle. Viego could be something that could look to try and match the Vi, assuming that Blabber wants something that could skirmish in the early game. We did see the Lee Sin come out from Elyoya yesterday, but the Rakan obviously makes a lot of sense.
That's an excellent mask. Yeah, the Rakan going to be a perfect pairing, of course, alongside the Xayah, and I think the Gauntlet already being thrown down in the bottom lane. The Xayah Rakan versus what we assume will be the Lucian. Nami, very explosive champions on the bottom side, and I mean, Berserker and Sven, an excellent chance to prove yourself in the first game going up against Elk's one of his signature picks.
And I actually really like this because you already know, like we said, when you have the Nami, you expect Lucian to come through, and BLG in their first 3 picks, they're showing hard engage and short range. Perfect things for a Kennen to actually try and counter here with the big AoE of the ultimate. So there's a big possibility here. Plus, I'll just throw this out there, Cloud9 Tech, MNS has been spamming Kennen top in solo queue and played it in some Champions Queue games, so there is a slight chance of flexibility here. He could take it.
And I will say, having seen the Orianna flex top, I'm a little bit more excited about the potential for a mid laner to go top lane with Kennen, but we'll have to find out for now. Targeted ban at MNS there, the LeBlanc coming through, a champion that he was obviously prolific on in the LCS.
I really think BLG need to think about a Poppy ban. We've already seen it be very proficient here at the tournament, and I think that it's something that into this composition from BLG could work very effectively in favor of Cloud9. It can also have the flexibility if this Kennen can go into multiple places. Maybe if they do choose to put it mid, a Poppy top, Poppy jungle, but like there's so many options I think that BLG do need to take into consideration.
I 100% agree with that, especially because Cloud9, they already have support locked and theoretically top lane locked without having a very big front line for themselves. So looking for some beef from Blabber possibly, and they're going to ban out some beef themselves, taking away the Scion. It's funny, the world that we've come to where Bin is now drawing tank bans. Bin, the predominant carry top lane player,
Look,
started spamming in solo queue, the tank's top lane, and now he's drawing bans on them.
losses to 369 hit different. Change of man's whole play style. We'll have to see what he busts out. The Yasuo also coming in is interesting. Feels like BLG, of course, the one game we did see them lost was due to a very powerful Gragas Yasuo combo, the ability to just delete Elk out of fights. So curious to see that one come out so early in the draft, but I guess just don't want to deal with that kind of flexibility and threat that the champion has.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Cassante ban hit from Cloud9. Oh, of course, the Cassante already taken away off the board, so the Galio instead going to be removed for Yagao. I guess they were worried about a potential Camille Galio. We know that things like Aurelia, Camille can be very good on that top side of the map if they want to play a skill matchup in favor of Bin, which wouldn't surprise us.
Yeah, and even the Galio combined with what is already showing with the Vi and the big hard engage that's going to come through trying to deny some synergies there. Bin has been playing a lot of Gnar, played a lot of Gnar throughout the season, so no stranger to this champion.
Second most played champion alongside the Jax at 15 picks.
The Nocturne Cannon combo.
The classic, turn off the vision so that your Cannon can get an easier flank here with the Nocturne. Let's see if they actually lock it in for Blabber. He has sporadically dropped Nocturne games throughout the previous couple of years.
Something we've seen one time this year thus far. C9 really debating here. MNS always more comfortable on a lot of these melee champions. With a Gnar on the opposite side, makes a lot of sense to see the Sylas now coming through. A lot of guaranteed team fight power every time Sylas takes that Gnar ult away.
Okay, so Cloud9 going for a lot of early skirmishing power, a very powerful early game that they can play through bot side of the map. They can even look to play through mids.
And it has to be an AD jungler, because you're showing double AP solo lanes right now, so...
I think the Nocturne makes the most sense. I think that it can do very well against the Vi as well. The Spell Shield being a very effective tool. And I have so many fun Nocturne facts for you if you want them.
So do I, because I spam jungle Nocturne. We've got mid Nocturne and jungle Nocturne covered here.
I'm concerned for the audience.
So how do BLG round things out? A lot of the conventional picks. Of course, Talia does make a lot of sense for Yagao. He is very well known for this wave clear roam style.
Yeah.
I think also when you have many dashes, things like the Sylas E, Nocturne ultimate, even going through the W from the Talia can be very obnoxious to have to get through.
Yeah, and trying to combat some of the global travel that you have with the Nocturne. Having Talia be able to make some roam plays with the wall, cut people off, create a wall for Gnar to knock people into with the Gnar ultimate as well. Yagao going to try and create some synergy there for Bin.
I mean, when we look at this matchup, bot lane is likely what we'll keep our eyes on. Lucian Army versus Zyra Khan. A very skirmish-heavy 2v2 bot lane that a single kill can very quickly swing that bot lane matchup in favor of either side. Don't be surprised to see junglers pathing down there to try and get them ahead. And it's Elk versus Berserker. Elk has been a mainstay here at the play-ins and has had a phenomenal performance of Berserker, looking to leave an impact on the international stage.
Elk has been the insurance option for so many late games, but now looking to be the early game powerhouse here, or mid-game powerhouse. So much attention needs to be paid to that bottom side of the map. We'll see who can get an edge early on. Two very different approaches in the Game 1 draft. See who will come out on top, getting closer and closer to the start of Game 1. But pressure on both sides. Again, BLG already getting that practice, already getting that experience. Cloud9, this is their first taste of international competition, and it is straight into the best of fives. Time to find out. Game 1, Cloud9 versus BLG.
Yeah, this is M&S first international best of 5 of his career. See how it plays out on stage.
Crazy to think that we in Europe are talking about M&S as an ERL player, the potential up-and-comer, and to see him find so much success in North America, now representing them on the international stage, a huge accomplishment for the young player. Let's see how he starts off against a bit of an international veteran in Yagao.
And we've seen how thankful M&S is to Cloud9 for giving him this chance. In a lot of ways, he felt like it was going to be his last chance at a professional team.
And you so often see players slip through the cracks, players that could have been or maybe should have been great, but M&S getting that shot, taking that opportunity, really making the most out of it, and see if he can continue that trajectory here on the international stage. And the audience alive today. Cloud9 chants, BLG chants back and forth so consistently.
The fan support is strong today. Nothing too crazy happening here at the level 1.
And this is going to be an interesting game because I feel like we talked about bot lane being potentially very explosive. Curious to see how Elk and On play this, if Berserker and Sven want to get aggressive. But also we have two compositions that really like level 6. So might be a bit of a slower early game. See what the angle is. M&S, knowing the ward is taken away, is he going to do anything else?
Okay, so Shun here doing a good job giving the experience on the ward and the kill on the ward over to Bin for the Gnar. Be able to get a little bit of extra help up there versus Kennen. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Sven also started with a sweeper. There you go, instantly get it.
Trying to take control of the bush here for now. On just firing back. Zombie Ward for a bit of extra vision. See what Sven can do is more levels start to come in. That level 1 from Nami, very frustrating.
I also always want to point out these wards from mid laners on Raptors. As a jungler, that one is so annoying to deal with and is so frequent. So Yagao is able to get that ward onto the Raptors of Cloud9, of Blabber. We'll see him when he inevitably goes over towards there. Nocturne, of course, you mentioned both junglers wanting towards that level 6, so should just be a normal power clear for Blabber's side.
Sven finding a nice knock-up onto Elk here, only level 1. The kill pressure not incredible. The Clan's already coming out, though. They're trying to get a few more summoner spells. Zerker taking a lot of damage back in exchange is on. Just throwing down damage. The Nami really making sure that that trade works out in favor of BLG.
Okay, so Ghost and Ignite used from Cloud9 on the chase, but they realize with the healing there from Nami and can't keep up the chase, and it just ends at the double summoner spells. Blabber here.
Blabber.
What we spotted though on the ward.
Ooh, just the edge of vision there.
And that wave was very awkward for C9, them fighting in that.
He's gonna get caught coming back up.
Missing McHugh is big here. Spell Shield's gonna bounce out a little bit, the fear. Will it work out in the end? Denting blows do a lot of damage. Both sides are just gonna walk away. Shun now control of the river, but there's nothing for him here for him to take. So, unsurprisingly, taking advantage of that level 2.
The big difference is that since Shun started on top side, top quadrant towards his red, now he's much closer to his camps too. So Blabber is now forced to be really far away from his bottom, from his top side to be able to cover this bottom possible play with the big wave crashing here from BLG.
Elk just getting so aggressive, but he's right on the edge of tower range. It might be enough. Elk now backing away. A blinking health bar, but able to just play on the edge there.
Yeah, they can't go for it fully for Cloud9 because Blabber had already backed off from that tri-brush.
A bit awkward here. Shun already set up takes the crab in his entire bottom side. As you highlighted, Blabber going to be a bit behind in terms of jungle tempo, but at least he's able to protect his bot lane.
We didn't get to see it, but M&S was doing a great job in mid lane as well, just primarily sacrificing his HP bar to keep that wave as shoved in as possible to make it harder for Yagao to look for the roam. He's now going to go back to base, but you can see how Yagao, with no mana, had no opportunity really to look for an opportunity to involve himself in the bot trade. M&S choosing to go for the electrocute to have a little bit more trading power in the straight-up 1v1.
Trying to keep that pressure in the mid lane. Such an aggressive player, we know from his domestic performance. Part of the reason that Cloud9 prioritized bringing him in onto the lineup. See how long he can hold that advantage. Leo only going to get scarier and scarier as the game goes on. But Elk, determined to at least threaten to cancel some recalls here, making sure he has perfect info so he can just force this wave in.
And one of the things here that's also positive about the Xayah Rakan, if they split up their recalls and have one recalling a bit further from the other one, if Elk only interrupts the closest person, then he could just jump on the other one for the recall there. But they do get the interrupt initially, as they were both right together.
Oh, hang on, Fudge. You may have overcommitted here. Good trade back from Bin. Looks like he doesn't want to take any more. Going to get the Mega Gnar soon. The level up as well. But it looks like for the time being, just a slightly unfavorable trade for Fudge.
Yeah, Fudge had held on to his potion for quite a long time too. Pops it now.
Doing what he can to hold on in that lane. Of course, this Doran's healing versus Doran's shield healing versus Doran's blade healing. So we'll see as the lane extends. But I imagine at some point we'll see a recall. Fudge now going to retreat most likely, and just use the TP to come back to top lane. As trading in the mid lane doesn't really exist on Yagao's terms. He just kind of wants to shove here. He's not interested in fist fighting a Silas.
Yagao though now hitting level 6. So looking already for a bit of a roam, getting a bit of information in the bot side river. But of course, with that wave pushed underneath the tower, BLG will be forced to catch, and this gives a window for Sven to move out on the map. First streak is of course up and available. And, as both junglers return, we'll see if they can get involved anywhere for any early plays.
Yeah, nice little cascade of pressure there for Cloud9. Even though Yagao got his level 6 early, the bottom lane being able to push out and roam up through the river now allows M&S to have an opening for a roam for himself on the Silas. He gets level 6, he pushes back because Sven went up there.
Elk just continuing to trade aggressively on the bottom side. Cloud9, 4 members in this bottom quadrant, but Shun in the area to try to stop any play from going down. M&S now returning to lane. I wonder if we see a bit of a battle between the junglers. Shun with a XP and level advantage.
Yeah, getting chunked down. So even though he got the push on the minion wave.
Knockup coming in from Sven. Elk with a sidestep. Ignite now ticking. Sven going to go back. Shun on the way down. Elk burning. Are they going to be able to follow this one up? Now coming out. Heal, follow up. Elk will get burned down. First blood. Elk on the edge. Berserker going to flash in and make it a 1-for-1 trade back. But in the end, the trade going in favor of BLG.
Ooh, BLG winning out in that one. Cloud9's bottom lane bloodthirsty wanted to chase, even though Shun was the first one down the river, so they pay a heavy price for it.
I really think that was a bit of an overforce there from Cloud9. They got such a good initial trade. Getting the flash out from Elk should have been enough, but we all saw the kill potential there. We all saw that opportunity, and Berserker and Sven believed that they could get that kill. They end up falling just short as BLG secure themselves too.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 had a good situation mid lane too. They had mid lane pressure coming to them, but a big overchase with a little bit too bloodthirsty on the bottom side might cost them a lot. Blabber here does have a ward inside the pit, but
Cloud9 continuing to step forward. Blabber, only level 5, Elk shown in the pit, going in, but not quite able to take it away. Blabber goes for the attempt of the fear, now coming in, the tidal wave stolen on the backside, means MNS grabs one kill. Yagao into the waiting arms of Berserker and Sven. They're both trying to retreat rapidly. MNS is just looking to finish up as many kills as he can. The Silas is too damn strong in these early skirmishes. The Abscond, the Abduct, Yagao body blocking Elk. Now on the retreat, Cloud9 looking for a bit of revenge on the bottom side. Not quite able to finish Elk, but a fantastic trade.
yeah, they get plus an extra kill right here, but they do lose out on the Dragon first. Good attempt from Blabber. Flashes in, throws the Q first, flashes in as it's about to hit, but a little bit too light on the damage. Shun is able to get it. 36, I think I saw on the Dragon health. Cloud9, though, they get right back up onto it. Some kills for Blabber, as well as MNS and Berserker.
You can see C9 not afraid to go toe-to-toe, and I think that BLG, it wasn't an easy Dragon to secure. These early skirmishes, this is really where things like Xayah Rakan find a lot of strength and success. The flash over the Q, the damage not quite enough there from Cloud9, but
there's the Nocturne. Oh, now Nami's gonna be in trouble as well. On's got nowhere to go. They're turning that one off on the bottom side. Berserker grabbing another kill.
A big dive for Cloud9. They take advantage of the level 6, and they get themselves 2 quick kills.
Meanwhile, we have Vi on the Rift Herald here, so really good use of the level 6 from Blabber, rushing on the bottom side, taking advantage. He's got a bounty on his head now. Bottom lanes gets the push in, shove out, and get their reset. It will be Constellation Rift Herald there for BLG, though, because Shun went topside.
See what BLG can do with that Rift Herald, because it's so important that they're able to build some of the leads. Top lane starting to get a little bit more ahead in their favor, but with Lucian a bit behind the clock and Nocturne ahead, very well could just be a death sentence in the fights to come, especially when you've got a Vi ult that can be stolen away, a Gnar ult that can be stolen away. This game is only getting more difficult for Elk as more fights look ahead.
And Cloud9, from the very beginning of this game, they want to put as much pressure on that bottom lane, on that Lucian Nami that they knowingly let through as possible. And they're going to get a lot of value out of the duration of this flash timer being down on Elk. Still a quarter of the time left on that one.
The longer this game goes as well, I just really like what C9's comp brings to the table. They have so much dive threat, and MNS, I think, has so many options with the ultimate as well, whether it be using the Vi ultimate to access the backline more alongside the Nocturne, whether it be the Gnar ultimate if you want just more crowd control in the team fights. We saw him use the Nami ultimate in the last skirmish to great effect. I think that Cloud9's composition, you talked about it as well, when you look at range, while Talia does have a lot of poke, Kennen sees this Lucian Nami and he sees a prime opportunity, so Cloud9 have put themselves in a great position in this early game. And right now, the focus will be on lanes, waiting for the next Dragon spawning in about 2 minutes' time.
The true party starts, Vedius, when we get to see Nocturne ult combined with those solo laners, with those Kennen flanks, with the MNS flanks on the Silas as well, and he's stolen away the Vi ultimate now. That is a little preview of what we'll see as far as the double initiation.
Ooh, Stridebreaker now coming through as well for Blabber. Pretty dang early in the game. Definitely going to be nice to have in the coming fights and the coming ultimate usages. Interestingly, because he obviously went for the free boots here, isn't able to early itemize Lucidity boots, as we've seen when Nocturne has been meta in the past, just to get that ult cooldown as low as possible. So he's going to have to wait, but luckily has it up now.
And I think, too, Blabber, while we have had so much focus on bottom side right now, mid lane is primed for striking with a Nocturne ultimate. Yagao now the one who actually has to worry about his flash being down and being at a disadvantage to MNS. So, Silas, if you show Shun next to the mid lane, that Vi ultimate plus Nocturne ultimate is going.
Here we go. Bin caught out. There's got to be no way out of this one. He's going mega. He's waiting. MNS can just try to take that ultimate away. Bin now going to flash out to safety. Fudge waiting over the wall. BLG collapsing, looking to protect, but Fudge wants a little bit of blood here. Leaping in now. The Abscond. The Abduct won't connect. Bin able to walk away.
C9 were a little hesitant to commit to that play because On was missing on the map. If they had overforced, tried to dive, there was a real risk that they put themselves at a numbers disadvantage. Fudge did commit the flash, thinking that he might have enough damage, but unfortunately for Cloud9, it was not quite enough. Still though, big opportunity here on the bot side of the map. They need to push this wave in as quickly as possible. They've got information now as to where On is, so they're going to move away from the dive for now. But the Dragon spawn, 35 seconds.
They're going to trade 1-for-1 in sums, but Blabber giving up that Nocturne ultimate is big. Elk able to catch this wave. Keeping an eye, seeing what the setup is going to be around the Drake. 30 seconds so that objective is available. MNS going top lane to catch this wave. Looking for a bit of revenge here.
Buy ult into Talia W is what they're looking for on this dive for BLG.
Q getting charged up over the wall. Elk finding Sven isolated on the bottom side. He's going to dash over the wall. The Coling not quite going to finish him. Elk not going to push any further here. On the top side, the dive not going to come through. Instead, just the Gromp picked up by Shun.
BLG, no, they could go for the dive right now because there's no Nocturne ultimate. Nocturne ultimate being used offensively. And so they have Shun waiting around, but Fudge backs off. Well done.
They'd have the heads up to walk away from that situation, but the gold dead even until this Herald crashes. It's going to be a lot more gold into the pockets of the mid-jungle duo on the side of BLG. Might be traded for the Dragon here, though. Cloud9 first, certainly able to start that one first, and it looks like BLG uninterested in contesting, just happy to have tower first blood here on the top side of the map.
A nice trade, I think, overall from BLG. They're really putting on the pressure onto MNS, and he's not going to be able to stop this second Rift Tower charge. I don't think they'll be able to secure another tower. They need to be careful about overstaying a little bit. Cannon ultimate is off cooldown relatively soon, but they're actually going to commit to this tower. They know how many are committed, but here's MNS.
MNS here. The Vial cooldown up and available again. Now just going to look to burn down the Cannon. Can they flick him back? They can't, but they can't get the Unraveled Earth down. They desync. The combo doesn't come through, and now Yagao sacrifice Shun. Able to walk away, but Cloud9 just playing it better.
And he's not out yet. Blabber's looking to catch him.
Trying to get vision, just needs vision, just can't see him, just sees the end, but can't click it fast enough. Now, the ulti fades away, Shun escapes. MNS just desperately wants to get in. The Abscond, the Abduct, how long on the Vault Breaker? Can he walk away? The great escape will not come through. Dunked down, MNS using the minions to walk away.
Been looking for him though.
Been leaping over the wall, came to snare him right back, but just getting a clean and easy shutdown onto the Cloud9 mid laner.
Vedius, I know you've been there too with Nocturne. Pop the ult just as your opponent goes out of your vision, so you can't click on them, can't quite get it. And in the end, that's an extended chase. Sven coming back down to bottom side though.
Cannon base damage is huge right now. Elk just barely able to dash away from the quickness there.
Wow, okay, so I do think that it was a big overcommitment from BLG in the top side. The fact that they sent 2 members to try and commit to that tier 2 tower when MNS and Fudge were both missing on the map, I think was a big blunder. The fact that they were able to buy so much time, though, was a big advantage for them because Elk was able to secure 2 plates in bot, but Berserker did the same thing as he secured 2 plates himself in mid.
Honestly, I feel like the story of this game has been over chases from both sides. Because then, right after Cloud9, going a little bit extra deep there. MNS flashing to try and get vision of the Vi, then tower diving, going for the 1-for-1. But bottom lane, the next opportunity here, Yagao comes down.
Just hovering around, will be now clearing out the vision as BLG take control of the bottom side of the map. You can see top side versus bot side here in terms of gold, but it's all still very, very close in terms of effective itemization.
I mean, a lot of it is because Fudge has been kind of dragged around the map, hasn't been given the freedom to get as much farm, whereas Bin has been soaking up multiple waves. He caught a bunch of waves in mid, he moves back to top, secures another bunch of waves. So in terms of experience, he's likely to be a little bit ahead as well. But overall, still a very even game. And as we talked about the compositions, you have to be a little bit worried as BLG as you get closer and closer to things like the next Dragon and the next Herald fight. Because you look at this combination of ultimates from C9, and it looks so terrifying to play against. The advantage BLG have is right now, they do still have all of their summoners on Elk, and as long as he's alive, he still has a lot of damage and threat in the fights.
Yeah, and one of my favorite combos that BLG have, and haven't utilized quite yet, that we are looking for possibly on the tower dive, is the Vi plus Talia combo. That can be super deadly in smaller amounts, smaller skirmishes. But Cloud9 going to bully down on this Rift Trail. BLG have made the choice. You can see on the minimap, they kept Yagao on the bottom side. Say, fine, you can have Rift Trail number 2. We'll take bottom tower for that trade.
Happy to have that. More passive map control going in their favor in Cloud9 with so many members grouped around the mid lane. Maybe just going to fish for a play. Gold again, still very close. A lot more standing gold available for Cloud9 if they can start to break through some of those towers. Even with the plates now fading away. Sven going to be in trouble. Instantly knocked down. They deny the dash over the wall. Elk grabbing a kill. Quick punish from the side of BLG.
Big misstep there. Is this another one from Cloud9?
MNS now trying to make no safety. He has stolen the ultimate. He's going to punt 2 back into the wall, but he just doesn't have the damage to finish him off. Yagao grabbing 1, and instantly there's just blood everywhere. Blabber now on a killing spree, but Cloud9 need to get out. All of BLG descending into the mid lane. A quick ulti back from Berserker. On the retreat, has to wait, has to time the feathers perfectly, but Fudge over the wall. Fudge, maybe he can be the difference maker instead. Everyone just looking to get out, but Bin keeps going! Kenan now coming in, Bin going mega, finding 1, he uses a Gnar of his own, and just like that, BLG come alive in game 1.
Oh, Giga Bin, don't miss! Right over the wall, he keeps that chase going. He's the richest one on BLG, he makes it happen with the full chase. flash from the Gnar used to get the extra kills here.
Wow, what aggression from BLG. How they convert one pick into 3 more in quick succession. Cloud9 desperate to get something back, end up getting punished even more. Sven, are you caught out once more? No, it looks like BLG, they're gonna take, or they're gonna rather be happy with what they've been able to take away from Cloud9. All of this bot vision as well sets them up nicely for the upcoming trade.
And this is where it all began. The Vi pick onto the Rakan here. Shun immediately finding that one, instantly killing Sven. And then, once BLG get a piece, they want way more. The ultimate here from Taliyah follows up. They try and get that one back. Blabber wants to get even pay, but can't quite make that one worth as Berserker using Flash, Ghost, and Gale Force and Ultimate to be able to go get that kill. Had nothing left for Bin. Gnar ultimate over.
On flashing over the wall as well to offer more safety and security to Bin. Wow, what an incredible set of plays from BLG. Definitely feeling it after that one. And this is where Cloud9 need to be careful because this composition from BLG has so much mobility. Their pick potential is lethal. And Cloud9 now grouped up as 5. Ultimates are available except for Berserker, but it looks like they're not going to go for the fight.
The call being made, mid lane tower, tier 1. BLG willing to give it up in exchange for this dragon to get the Infernal. Infernal Soul, a huge prize for either side. Neither side close to Soul Point quite yet. BLG happy to have the second dragon. Second charge does come through. Still a 2K gold lead for BLG, but overall still a pretty close game. Cloud9, though, as you highlighted, can't afford to have any more slip-ups in fights, can't afford to have themselves get collapsed on or give up individual members because you've seen how quickly BLG can just tear them apart.
Yeah, they've got really good chase with this composition. A lot of flashes being used in that last play, too. So flashes being used in big fight like that means there's more opportunity now on the map. And once you get all these outer towers starting to drop, that's when the power of a trailing Nocturne for split push could really make them second guess some of these split pushes, especially when your split pushers don't have their flashes.
Very much agree. I was thinking to myself, maybe Bin is like uncontrollable in the side lane. You know, the fact that he has so much magic resistance being built up for himself. Fudge and MNS I think will struggle, but the beauty of a Nocturne is that it's so quick to catch on side lane. So if Bin or Yagao do overstep, there is a very clear window with which C9 can look to attack.
That's the ulti coming in. Retreat now coming out immediately. They're going to throw down the ultimate. Tidal Wave blocks so much of the damage. On is able to get burned, and C9 now able to walk away. The calling coming out. BLG, do they want to continue to commit to this play? Shunt now immediately going to ult. Now instantly diving into the backside. Vial traded for Vial. Yagal doing his best to appeal for the backline. MNS now running. BLG standing strong. 1-for-1 trade, but it's jungle for support.
Yeah, it's a good call from BLG because they know Fudge it hasn't started channeling his teleport yet. He won't arrive very quickly, so they make the pick here. Get the 1-for-1 onto Blabber. Still, though, pretty even. These two teams trading blow for blow.
I like the response from BLG. I feel like that the pick from C9, though, it felt a little hesitant. The moment that Sven missed the knockup, you could see that second of hesitation before the full commit onto On, and that meant that BLG had time to react, respond, start to regroup, and Bin was in the fight much earlier than Fudge was, even having to commit his TP, as you mentioned, Kobe, which means that now Bin has this TP advantage available, and BLG can start threatening these sides. Sven, you got caught in this bush earlier. He won't be caught once again.
This area of the map, both supports getting picked off quite recently. Yeah, maybe if Cloud9, as they're retreating back through the mid lane, if they were quicker on their teleport to be able to counter the chase there from BLG, because they ended up using the cooldown anyways.
BLG, you can see just grouping up together, getting mid-prio, roaming out to support their side laners, not really giving the opportunity for Cloud9 to just Nocturne collapse wherever they want to. Heads-up play from the side of BLG. See how Cloud9 want to respond.
I think a really big strength here for BLG as the Taliyah wall does come in.
Instant response, a bit preemptive even, but now they're going to try to make the fight happen anyway. Looking to isolate Elk. The knockup now coming down. It's a Tidal Wave stolen away from MS. That is a huge start to the fight, but Elk goes golden. He buys a brief moment. It's a counter Tidal Wave. And Elk is still standing. It has been from behind, and it is BLG. And the fight, a double for Elk. Cloud9's play turned on its head.
Oh, Bin comes in for the counter engage. No hesitation on that teleport. He comes in, Mega Gnar, they turn it around. Cloud9 have to give up their tower as well.
Dash forward.
The Baron is alive.
Fudge in trouble as well. BLG, absolute dominance here in the mid lane.
BLG are tearing C9 apart in these fights, and when that initial ultimate came out from Yagao, you saw how quick Blabber was to throw out an ultimate of his own, and then it felt like C9 felt pressured into forcing an engage. After committing onto Elk, the fight looked pretty promising, but you ended up with the Jarvan syndrome, where the EQ flash becomes so difficult to follow up on. The Rakan and the Nocturne were on the back line, but there was no one from Cloud9 there to follow up.
And the terrifying thing is, once you've burned all that combo, the Talia E, the Unraveled Earth coming out, as well as the Nami ult, combined with the stopwatch from Elf, just makes it impossible for C9 to follow up again.
Yeah, look at this. Only Blabber and MNS here really being able to get over the wall. Sven goes, he gets a really big knockup, but it's countered before the DPS for Cloud9 could get there. Berserker and Fudge only arrived now, and guess what? Bin's already teleported into your face. The front line separating that back line, so it's really a bit over anxious of a play for Cloud9 there to go for that one, while the Talia wall had another second still standing there, and the team wasn't quite together, not quite in sync. Meanwhile, BLG perfectly in sync. Teleport comes in, they collapse, they counter engage, they get the kills and the objectives, and that's the big difference now. The outer towers here, both side lane outer towers still standing for BLG, giving them that safety in the side lanes.
And the moment that the dive happens, you can see how difficult it is for C9 to continue that engage with Nami ultimate, Nami bubble, the Unraveled Earth from Yagao. There's so many tools on the side of BLG to disengage, keep kiting backwards, that the moment that Cloud9 overstep, it becomes incredibly easy for BLG to find these re-engages. And so far in these fights, they're just outplaying Cloud9.
Yeah. Both sides setting up here in the mid lane. BLG, are they going to be the ones to pull the trigger this time around? They've been doing such a good job punishing C9. Cloud9 have to play this perfectly. MNS looking for a flank, but has to be careful not to get collapsed on. It's a similar story for Fudge. As Shun is fishing for an angle. It looks like Fudge is the target once again. The entire team now collapsing. A perfect combo from the Vi coming out. Kenna trying to respond back, but Fudge is already dead. Now, C9 with the counter blow on the opposite side of the fight. Elk pulling.
Mega Gnar coming though.
C9 getting pushed out of the area, getting pushed out of the pit. All eyes on the Infernal Drake from the side of BLG. Blabber, maybe he can steal this one away. Bin looking for the setup. Drake going in favor of BLG. Cloud9 need to get out. There is nothing left for them in this fight. C9 retreating as 4. They will not give up anyone else.
The biggest thing here is that BLG, even though Cloud9 are the ones with the Nocturne Cannon that want to be able to get that first play, that first flank, BLG taking the initiative. They go first, they get the initiative, they get the engage, they go right for Fudge, and even though they sacrifice the Nami there, that's a willing trade.
And the combo you were talking about, Kobe, and the threat that BLG really have of this Talia Vi, the fact that they attack the Kennen, it feels like the LPL and LCK teams are just so good at being aware of that flank threat and then just shutting it down before it can become a real problem. Just great response and great proactivity, as you were saying, Kobe, from BLG.
If they're looking for a flank, that also means they're isolated.
Right, exactly.
And BLG attack.
I mean, it's a pretty common strat, right? When pincing from a dragon, if coming in from two sides, you always go to the weaker side, right? And BLG just don't give C9 the opportunity. And it must be frustrating for Cloud9 because so far this game, they've never really been able to fully utilize their composition. We're yet to see that big wombo combo engage come through. Instead, it's always BLG punishing the overextension of Cloud9 and then re-engaging on their turn.
And it's such a good point because you look at this composition on paper, as you highlighted, so many moments where you think you could just all push R together and everything would work out. But BLG not giving you a single opportunity to do so is so frustrating. Cloud9, though, you can see grouping as 5. I think a little bit more aware of what Shun and Yagao can do together to dismantle some of these flanking options. For now, getting mid-prio, taking control of the vision, just making sure that they have the information around the pit. Zion, 2 items, pretty quick to take it. They lack a true tank, however, so it is a bit risky. That said, Cloud9 want to start it anyway, just looking to force the fight, looking to get BLG to come into them.
Yeah, Bin is pretty far. You can see him walking up, and critically, he has no Gnar bar charged up.
Shun looking for an angle, looking for that isolated member. Cloud9 instantly retreating. Now trying to turn it back onto the Vi. Blast going to take Shun out to safety. Bin getting Prio in the mid lane. It's just a trade back and forth at this mid control.
And look at how quick Shun was to sniff out that flank once again. Immediately goes into the likely position that Sven or Fudge could be in and forces them back. Now they have control over mid and are sieging onto the tier 2.
Yeah, BLG on the pushback here. The idea from Cloud9 there, though, they're so far behind, they weren't looking to, like, you know, commit to that Baron. They just wanted to get the teleport out of Bin. But BLG call the bluff. They don't use the teleport too early. They hold on to it and they just walk Bin slowly up and just chase Cloud9 off the objective. And now, meticulously, again, another wall, another objective here for BLG.
Incredibly controlled game from BLG. Yes, Cloud9 found an advantage in some of the earlier skirmishes, able to find some of these kills with the combo that they brought to bear, but the second we got out of the laning phase, the second the tower started to drop, BLG have just been playing the map so well as a team, as a unit, and it is hard to deny a champion like Nocturne these angles, these picks, but BLG have done such a fantastic job.
Yeah, BLG looking more coordinated, more comfortable right now so far in game 1 of the series.
It's very reminiscent of the Mad Lions game 1 yesterday, where it was Mad Lions who were the aggressors and it was T1 punishing. I feel like C9 with this composition are forced to be the aggressors. They're the ones forced to find picks, forced to look for dives, and every time they have tried, BLG have just been able to get the upper hand.
And the terrifying thing is, it's not like on paper you're getting hard out scaled. You're getting hard out executed, and that's got to be a frustrating point because Lucian Nami isn't a weak scaling early game champion, and you know, Talia in the mid game, that thought is now the engage already coming through. Minu trying to bring them down. Blabber pre-flashing over the wall, getting ready. On going to get caught out by that play. Berserker finding a quick pick. C9 with advantage.
So what did they have to commit to find that pick, though? There was the flash from Sven and the flash from Blabber in exchange for the summoners from On. While that is initially a good pick, that is a lot committed. Can C9 really convert this into anything else? They do still have Fudge's ult, but C9, they don't want to gamble forcing another ban.
Berserker, no ult, no ghost either. A bit concerning if they do try to force a fight.
One of the biggest wins there is just getting some breathing room on the map as BLG, with the magnitude of the lead that they had, they keep on pushing out these waves, trapping Cloud9 so far into their own side of the map that they couldn't get any extra setup vision for themselves. So yes, it is just a support that they pick off, but that gives them some time to reestablish the game.
Yeah, I'll definitely say C9, if nothing else, they're looking to buy time. You look at the itemization on MNS, yet to complete his second item. You look at the itemization for Berserker, very close to the Bloodthirster. Ideally, you want these item completions through before you look for another big fight.
Have to hold out, have to survive. A lot of stopwatches as well. Ready for a big team fight. Could be game deciding as we get deeper and deeper into this one. 28 minutes on the clock. Neither side has really gone for Baron quite yet. C9 faking a start maybe to try and force a fight, but overall, Soul right around the corner for BLG. 15 seconds. C9 know that it's all eyes on the bottom side, but BLG can take advantage of this.
This is the thing. BLG are the ones in firm control right now. C9 finding access to the Dragon Pit via the bot lane. This does give a lot of map control to BLG as they are, well, first into the river. C9 going to be forced out and the dance will begin.
MNS with the long flank here on the Silas. Going way
sniffing
deep.
him out though once again.
Bin now stepping forward. Yagao splitting the team. Blabber over the wall. Will have to burn his ult or wait for that one to go away. MNS just looking to take the Gnar ultimate when he can. Bounty on the Dragon if Cloud9 can take it away. It's so crucial that they get this objective. But BLG happy to just do this dance. Cloud9 going to be the ones to start it. Elk just trying to poke as much as he can with the RFC. There's no follow-up quite yet. Not to the side. Fudge isolated. Ulti coming out from the buy has been denied. Fudge now it's looking for the turn and burn here. Sven coming in on the recon from so far away, but they're not able to get down the Gnar ultimate. The execution isn't quite there. It's Blabber in the midst of the entire team, but BLG pull back flawlessly. Yagao versus 2, but he's buying so much time with the Crown of the Shattered team with the stopwatch, and it looks like the fight is already over. As long as Berserker's alive, though, there's hope for Cloud9, but Jun looking to finish him. Feathers go up and come right back down. Berserker still standing. Berserker trying to turn. Berserker desperate to get anything back. Twin daggers coming through. Berserker keeping it going, but it's Bin over the wall. It's Yagao. Now the duo on the bot side for Cloud9 looking to make the miracle happen, but Bin says not today. 2 looking for 3 stacks, but Berserker, he's got so much damage. They want to finish him. One more auto should certainly do it. Berserker with a pullback on the feathers. It's not quite enough. It's an insanely close fight. It is on the back of Berserker that Cloud9 are still in the exchange, but they will walk away for now.
Oh, Berserker, can he get away with his life? No, he cannot.
And it has been the only defending MSI champion returning this year to finish it off. This Gnar is massive. No deaths for him, 506, massive bounty on his head. Bin the hero for BLG. Let's take a look at how this fight started.
Okay, so a good wall comes out initially from BLG to try and separate the fight, but it doesn't really last for long. And then the fight comes down to 2 fronts as BLG tried to initially collapse onto Fudge, who uses the stopwatch to buy himself a lot of time, and then the dive onto the AD carry onto the backline. A good ultimate from On to buy time as MNS is eliminated right off the bat, but Sven and Blabber do what they need to do. Berserker and Fudge struggle to really get involved in the fight, so they focus on hitting the closest target. A really nice play from Berserker as he gets an initial pick, and this is where things devolve into chaos.
Yeah, the very sketchy 3-on-3 at the end. Berserker, you can see, he's got his flash shield, so he baits Jun. As Jun goes for the Q, he flashes it, is able to kill him inside the Gromp. But meanwhile, the Kennen went down for Cloud9, so they lost any real meaningful frontline. And Bin is full health. This mini Gnar is going to run straight for them. So even though they get a chunk out of him, after the Zonya's there from Sven, he goes down. And then Berserker has nothing left. He spent everything in that fight. to give Cloud9 the hope. He almost had it for them.
And not to take any more of that hope away, but we saw in the picture-in-picture over the course of that replay, thank you for the breakdown, gentlemen, we saw MNS getting caught out and subsequently BLG, while MNS did not drop, they were able to grab Infernal Soul. So the fight's only getting harder, the odds only further stacked against Cloud9 here in this game one. Yes, it's only 6K between them at 31 minutes, but that Infernal Soul is going to be massive.
I mean, look at Vin's items here. He's 3 items and a stopwatch on the Gnar. That Gnar is so menacing. Cloud9 have nothing comparable to that as far as the front line goes. So C9 need to make a pick.
Gao caught out, looking to make his way out of that one. The wall will not ferry him out to safety. Burning through quickly the mid laner on the side of BLG. The flick back takes a bit of health, but Cloud9 happy to have that shutdown.
Huge play for them. Very, very necessary. They do not have the front line to go toe-to-toe with Bin, so they make the pick quickly here, and they could get an objective bounty. BLG coming over, though, to try and push them off tower.
Zerker immediately forced to ult at the start of the fight. MNS stealing the Gnar ult means that the disengage is now coming through. TP going in. Fudge! He's going golden, but he's just delaying his own death here. Bin now dominating. Oof.
That teleport sucked under the tower. Now they're chasing.
Blabber caught out and Bin going over the wall. All eyes on Berserker. He does not care about anybody else. There's another fight happening, but it is Bin versus Berserker on the backside. Blabber now trying to bail him out. Elk taking out Sven. MNS, another name on the list, and Blabber now running for the hills as Bin wants to finish off this Nocturne. A flash will take him to safety, but BLG will grab the Baron.
Yes, they will. BLG. Yagao, the only one down. The pick on top side turns around in their favor. They come away wearing purple.
Cloud9, after finding that pick, couldn't decide between the Baron or the tower, and after committing to the tower, they realized that they had overcommitted as Fudge TPs into his death, and that was all BLG needed to convert the fight. As you were saying, Kobe, such a great pick, and in this window, you're looking like, start the Baron, maybe force them to overextend. You still have a number of ultimates available to you. Instead, you've got the back coming in from the Kennen to ideally buy a little bit more, but then the ultimate from Berserker so early, and so because they get forced off the tower, the TP from Fudge means that he is completely isolated, and then BLG can convert it from pick into pick into pick.
Yeah, even though Fudge went back to get his purchase off there, Elk was also already wearing a Guardian Angel under that tower, so very, very lofty attempt at a play there. Now Cloud9 have to deal with the siege power of a Baron. Elk, as I said, wearing the Guardian Angel, level 16 on the Lucian here. This is going to be very difficult.
4-1 with Yao on the bottom side. Cloud9 could just look to force a man advantage in the mid lane, and they will do so immediately, getting the fight kicked off with Blabber ulting in, but the disengage is already there. Wall coming in to split the rest of the team. Now looking to punish on the side of BLG. They've taken out Sven, and they've lost nothing. Blabber burning his entire health bar. Gao flashing forward right into the face of Cloud9, and they're keeping this ball rolling. Fudge leaping out to safety, but he's got no time left. BLG breaking into the base of C9, looking to claim game one.
Cloud9 are falling apart. They cannot stand against the might that is BLG as they are ripping apart. They're looking for more kills.
Fire back, stolen by ultimate. Berserker doing what he can, trying to take one kill, but it's only the GA. There's just no space for him to maneuver back into his own fountain, just trying to hold on. The flick back connects. Yagao hitting another one. Elk grabbing a double. BLG cleaning up here in game one. On with the flash in. The Zanyas, a little bit of BLG taking over here. It was an okay start for C9, but mid to end, it has been the BLG show from start to finish.
BLG, the #2 LPL seed, stands tall in game number one.
A deathless game from Bin. 9-4-8 was the final scoreline for Elk. And while, as you said, Dracos, C9 showed promise in the early game, BLG were just